Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing the content on negotiation of dispute prevention and resolution clauses, with the second section being claim clauses. This section primarily focuses on understanding breach of contract and disputes, claims and settlements, claim clauses in sales contracts, and the considerations to keep in mind when establishing claim clauses in contracts. First, let's take a look at breach of contract and disputes. Breach of contract refers to the act where one or both parties to a contract fail to fulfill or fully fulfill their contractual obligations due to their fault. CIS3 distinguishes between two types of breaches: fundamental breach and non-fundamental breach. British law categorizes breach of contract into two types: breach of condition and breach of warranty. American law, based on the nature of the breach and its consequences, divides breach of contract into material breach and minor breach. Continental law generally classifies breach of contract into two situations: non-performance of the contract and delayed performance of the contract. Dispute, also known as a dispute, occurs when one party in a transaction believes that the other party has failed to fully or partially fulfill their contractual obligations, leading to a dispute. There are numerous reasons why disputes arise between trading parties, which can subsequently trigger claims. These reasons can generally be categorized into the following situations. First, in cases where the trading countries and international practices have different interpretations, each party holds their own view. Second, ambiguity in contract terms or contradictions between different clauses within the same contract, leading to inconsistent interpretations by both parties, or each party advocating from their own self-interest. Third, seller's breach of contract, failure to fulfill or incomplete fulfillment of contractual obligations. Fourth, buyer's breach of contract, failure to fulfill or incomplete fulfillment of contractual obligations. There are four ways to resolve disputes: negotiation, mediation, litigation, and arbitration. Negotiation or friendly negotiation refers to the process after a dispute has arisen, when the parties involved, guided by a spirit of cooperation and on the basis of mutual understanding and concession, directly engage in discussions to resolve the dispute. Mediation, also known as third-party mediation, involves a situation where, after a dispute between the buyer and seller has occurred, on a voluntary basis, a third party is invited to mediate in order to eliminate differences and resolve the dispute. Litigation refers to the situation where either party requests a court with jurisdiction to adjudicate the dispute between the parties according to a certain legal procedure and to render a fair judgment. Arbitration is a method where, before or after a dispute arises between the buyer and the seller, they enter into a written agreement, voluntarily submit the dispute to a third party agreed upon by both parties, and have it adjudicated in order to resolve the dispute. Next, we will learn about claims and settlements. A claim refers to the action taken by the party that has suffered damage in a contract after a dispute has arisen to demand compensation from the party in breach. On the other hand, a settlement of claim, the party in breach processing the compensation claim made by the damaged party. It can be seen that claim and settlement of claim are two aspects of the same issue. For the damaged party, it is a claim, while for the party in breach, it is a settlement of claim. For the convenience of claim and settlement of claim work, buyers and sellers generally should include a claim clause in the contract. The claim clause usually has two ways of stipulation according to different needs. One is the discrepancy and claim clause. The other is the penalty clause. In general commodity sales contracts mostly only include the discrepancy and claim clause. However, in bulk commodity and machinery equipment contracts, in addition to specifying the discrepancy and claim clause, it is often necessary to separately include a penalty clause. The discrepancy and claim clause is typically established for situations where the seller's delivery of quality weight or quantity and packaging does not meet the contract specifications, constituting a breach of contract. Of course, there are also instances where the seller may claim due to the buyer's breach, such as not accepting the goods on time or unreasonable rejection of the goods. The main contents of the clause include the right to claim, the basis for claims, the time limit for claims, the method of claims, and the amount of claims. The penalty clause, also known as the liquidated damages clause, primarily stipulates that when one party fails to fulfill its obligations as per the contract, it shall pay the other party a predetermined amount of penalty to compensate for the losses incurred. This clause is generally applicable in situations where the seller delays delivery or the buyer delays accepting the goods, delays in opening a letter of credit, or defaults on payment. Buyers and sellers should jointly agree on a penalty percentage or penalty amount in the contract. The penalty percentage or amount depends on the length of the delay, and the contract should also specify the maximum penalty percentage or maximum penalty amount. The starting date for penalties should be clearly stated in the contract. There are usually two ways to stipulate this. One is to start immediately after the end of the agreed delivery date or the letter of credit opening date, as stipulated in the contract. The other is to establish a grace period, that is, after the expiration of the agreed delivery date or the letter of credit opening date as stipulated in the contract, there is an additional period of time, known as a grace period, during which no penalties are imposed and penalties begin to accrue after the grace period ends. When drafting claim clauses in contracts, the following 3 points should be noted. First, the stipulation of the claim period should be made with caution, aiming for reasonableness and appropriateness. For perishable or easily deteriorated food items, agricultural byproducts, etc., the claim period should be set shorter. For electromechanical instruments, the claim period can be longer, typically 60 or 90 days after the goods arrive at the destination, generally not exceeding 180 days for machinery and equipment with a quality guarantee period. The claim period can be as long as 1 year or more for general goods. The claim period is usually limited to 30 or 45 days after the goods arrive at the destination. Second, the interpretation and the regulations of penalty clauses in sales contracts vary across different countries' laws. Third, the amount of liquidated damages should not be set too high to avoid the risk of some countries' laws not recognizing them. Please complete the following post-class assignment. Alright, this lesson ends here. See you next time.